Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, the cruise lines are already started. And what do I mean by that? Well, they've already started vaccinating their crew members and cruise ports. That's right, the first cruise port now to start vaccinating people and cruise line crew as well under a new regulation that was introduced that allowing this, that if you are part of an industry that supports businesses and jobs in the United States, you can get vaccinated in the United States. And they've set up in the terminal of Port Canaveral, which is near Orlando, Disney World area, in case you're not sure where that cruise port is. And they say they can now vaccinate about 1,000 people a day there. So I think in the next little while, you're going to start to see all those cruise ships floating around the Caribbean and everything, heading over to Port Canaveral and other cruise ports in Florida and getting their crew members fully vaccinated ahead of time. Now, this goes to that question of which way are they going to go? Remember, there's two different ways of opening. We have, the CDC said, if you have 95% of passengers and 98% of your crew vaccinated, then you can skip that whole process of test cruises. So the cruise lines are vaccinating their crew. A lot of them have said that's going to be mandated anyway because they don't want any spread amongst their own crew members on board, and the crew members are looking forward to that as well. A lot of them, very few are skeptical about getting a vaccine. When they did a poll actually on the cruise ships, it was vastly overwhelming, the amount of people that actually wanted to get the vaccine, because it's not necessarily available where they're from. So this is good news that you can now get it done in the United States if you work on a cruise ship. That's a good news. Another cruise port doing that is in Texas. Texas in Galveston, their cruise port is also starting Monday vaccinating 2 Carnival cruise ships that are arriving this weekend. So there's more cruise ships starting and more vaccinations going on in other cruise areas. You can guarantee Miami and Port Everglades out of Fort Lauderdale, they'll be along very shortly, and all this will start happening. You're going to see an awful lot of cruise ships in the near future stopping by for more than just a day and getting their crew members vaccinated up and running, while the cruise lines try and figure out the logistics of whether or not they have to go for the test cruising or whether or not they have to go for, they can skip that altogether and get vaccinated. It all depends on, right now, it depends on what state you're from. Florida, you can't. California, you can. New York, you can. Texas, you can't. Right now, unless they work out with the governors and the employers and everything in the cruise ports, and the cruise lines get together and they come up with a solution. For instance, a temporary, because this is a business that's leaving the state and coming back, it's not working directly in the state for the amount of time that they're there, and it's dealing with passengers from right across the United States, not just people who are in Florida or in Texas or in California. Then maybe, just maybe, there's a workaround where they can say, okay, you can implement this temporarily, but only temporarily, and set a deadline on it. And then it's up to the government to renew that, yes or no. But you can't do it for 30 days. Give it a real timeline. I mean, the emergency mask order in the United States was set to expire on the 21st of this month for airlines and places like that, and it's been extended till September. So there's a long, you don't want to go that 30 days. You want to give them a real amount of time. And, September would be a fairly viable timeline, considering that it's going to still take a month or two minimum to get these cruise ships up and running, no matter what. Whether they go for the vaccine-only cruises or non-vaccine cruises. Non-vaccine cruises, you're talking 60 to 90 days. vaccinated cruises could be up and running as early as, July, end of June, if they really get a grasp on things. A lot of the problems is also getting the crew here, getting them quarantined, getting them vaccinated in that period. You still have to wait 3 weeks, right? So just because your crew member is vaccinated today, you have to wait 3 weeks for them to get vaccinated again. And then you have to wait 2 weeks after that for them to become what's called fully vaccinated. So that's a 5-week period starting today if their crew member is vaccinated today. So you can see how this isn't going to happen overnight. There's a lot of things in play. In the meantime, the cruise terminals, the cruise lines themselves can get that port agreements written up and signed by the various ports they're going to be sailing out of. They can decide what ships they're going to start up with, so they can, prioritize the vaccinations towards those cruise ships and get those crew members set up first, and they can work out all the logistics after that. But there you go. Crew members are actually able to get vaccinated in the United States now. And I don't know, I thought to myself, I said, if you support industries in Florida through your job, well, my job supports cruising in Florida and businesses in Florida, does that mean I might be able to fly to the United States and legally get my second dose? Trouble is, it's hard to do that. A lot of people have offered, and I'm really thankful. It's amazing offers. I must have 50 of people saying, hey, come on down here. You can use my address and we'll get you your second dose and all that. Trouble is, if they ever have to track it, right? If they ever have to give a vaccine number and everything, I don't know if I can have a Canadian number and an American number for my final one. Will they match? Will they allow that? And so that's the tricky part for me. I'm probably better off just hoping that I can get my shot earlier here in Canada, especially now that United States is now starting to send vaccines to Canada. We don't have to get them all the way from Europe. We're starting to get our Pfizer directly from the US starting next week. So those are all good things. People are getting vaccinated. Things are looking brighter, but there's still some dark road ahead in this tunnel here that we need more light shining on it. And the big one right now is to find out which direction the cruise lines are going, vaccine, non-vaccine, and which way the state governors in every state that has a cruise port, what they're leaning towards. Are they going to be, receptive to a temporary restriction, non-restriction for asking for vaccines, or are they going to be firm, hard-lined on it? All those things will determine when we're going to see cruising, especially in cruise destinations like Florida and Texas. You can vaccinate all the crew you want, but if you still have to do test cruises and bring in people and find volunteers and then apply for it, it's going to take even longer. So lots of stuff happening, but good news for the crew. I'm very happy for the crew who want to get vaccinated. They can now get it in the United States. They don't have to try and get it someplace else. So it means the crew can be flown into the United States, quarantined here, and get their shots here at the same time before even getting on the ship. So it's a good start. I think this is a step in the right direction for the cruise line industries. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's about time? And until then, we're still going to wait and see what happens with those vaccines, which way they're going to go. Who knows? Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.